In today's video, we're discovering the hidden treasures of American coinage, the most valuable and ultra-rare United States nickels, the coins that have amazed with their history, beauty, and incredible market value. From wartime issues made of silver to error strikes worth thousands. So get ready to explore the fascinating details, minting secrets, and collector insights that make these small coins some of the biggest legends in U.S. coin history. First up, we're discovering the true worth of America's most fascinating coins, one of the most remarkable and collectible pieces of U.S. coinage. The 1943 Jefferson Wartime nickel with the Philadelphia P mint mark. Though it may appear dull, worn, or even very dirty, this coin hides a powerful story of wartime necessity, national pride, and unexpected value that continues to captivate collectors and investors around the world. If you ever find a dirty old nickel from 1943, don't dismiss it too quickly, because under that layer of age lies a piece of American history that could be worth far more than 5 cents. The 1943 Jefferson nickel represents a pivotal moment in both American history and coinage. During World War II, the U.S. Mint faced a critical shortage of nickel metal, which was essential for military armor plating and weapons production. To conserve resources, the composition of the Jefferson nickel was changed that year from 75% copper and 25% nickel to a special wartime alloy made up of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. This change created what we now know as the wartime silver nickel. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 271 million of these coins in 1943, and for the first time in U.S. history, it proudly placed a large mint mark P above Monticello's dome on the reverse, a design detail that has become legendary among collectors. This coin tells the story of a nation at war, adjusting its economy and even its currency for the greater good. Looking closely at the design details, you'll find both artistry and function merged perfectly. The obverse side still features the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag, with his strong facial profile symbolizing wisdom and endurance. The inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1943 curve elegantly around the design. On the reverse, the iconic Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, remains the centerpiece. Above it sits the enlarged P mint mark, distinguishing it from the wartime nickels of Denver and San Francisco. The words "E pluribus unum," United States of America, and the denomination 5 cents complete the design. Even when found in very dirty or circulated condition, a genuine 1943, P nickel's details can still show remarkable depth, especially around Jefferson's hair, Monticello's steps, and the bold mint mark that sets it apart from other nickels. When it comes to rarity, not all 1943 P nickels are created equal. While millions were struck, only a fraction have survived in collectible condition today. Most coins were heavily circulated during and after the war, leaving them worn, corroded, or tarnished from exposure to moisture and time. Finding one in very dirty condition often indicates natural aging rather than damage, and under the grime, silver luster may still remain. However, what truly drives rarity and value is the coin's state of preservation. Those graded as MS65 or higher can command strong premiums, while uncirculated examples with full steps on Monticello are especially prized. Even in lower grades, 1943, P nickels remain collectible due to their historical silver content and wartime significance. In terms of collector demand, the 1943 P wartime nickel stands out as a cornerstone of the Jefferson Nickel series. Its unique silver composition, combined with the bold P mint mark, makes it instantly recognizable and desirable to both beginner and seasoned numismatists. Unlike most coins of its era, the wartime nickels bridge the gap between standard coinage and America's wartime economy, making them both a tangible investment and a patriotic keepsake. Collectors often pursue complete sets of the 1942 to 1945 wartime nickels, and the 1943 P is one of the most sought after due to its abundance yet high-quality surviving examples. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know, the market value. A circulated 1943 P Jefferson nickel in very dirty or worn condition typically sells for around $800 to $3,000, primarily for its silver content. Coins in fine to very fine condition can reach $1,000 to $4,000, while those in extremely fine or about uncirculated grades may fetch $1,500 to $5,000. Uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS-60 to MS-65, can bring anywhere from $4,000 up to $8,000, depending on luster and eye appeal. Exceptional mint state coins with full steps on Monticello and superb strike details have achieved prices well above $9,000. And in some rare cases, pristine examples graded MS-67 or higher have sold for over $11,000 at auction. For a 5-cent coin struck over 80 years ago, that's an extraordinary return rooted in rarity, history, and collector passion. For those interested in collecting, here are a few essential tips. Always look for coins with clear details and an intact mint mark above Monticello. Pay attention to luster and coloration. A genuine wartime nickel may tone to gray, golden, or light blue hues due to its silver content. The 1943 P. Jefferson Wartime Nickel remains one of America's most symbolic and intriguing coins. It represents a moment when even small change carried the weight of national purpose and sacrifice. Its blend of historical significance, silver composition, and distinctive design ensures it will always hold a respected place in the world of numismatics. Whether you're a longtime collector or just beginning your coin journey, this coin reminds us that even the smallest pieces of metal can tell the biggest stories. And secondly, we're exploring the fascinating world of rare and valuable United States coins, one of the most iconic treasures from America's wartime era. The 1944 Jefferson Wartime Nickel with the Philadelphia P mint mark. This coin stands as a remarkable piece of history, admired for its silver composition, distinctive design, and its deep connection to a defining moment in world events. Collectors across the globe prize this nickel not only for its numismatic value, but also for the story it carries, a tangible reminder of America's resilience during World War II. Whether discovered in a collection or found unexpectedly in change, this coin captures the imagination of every coin enthusiast who appreciates both history and rarity. The story of the 1944 Jefferson Wartime Nickel begins during one of the most challenging times in American history, World War II. Due to a critical shortage of nickel metal, which was needed for military production, the U.S. Mint altered the coin's composition to help support the war effort. From 1942 through 1945, these wartime nickels were struck using an alloy of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. The 1944 issue, produced at the Philadelphia Mint, was distinguished by the large P mint mark placed above Monticello on the reverse, the first time a P mint mark had ever appeared on a U.S. coin. Each piece minted during this period symbolizes the nation's adaptability and unity in a time of great global conflict, making it a small but powerful emblem of American history. When examining the design of this coin, it's easy to understand why it remains a favorite among collectors. The obverse features a detailed portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, designed by Felix Schlag. His likeness, facing left, is surrounded by the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1944. The reverse displays Jefferson's home, Monticello, rendered with elegant precision, along with the denomination 5 cents, United States of America, and the wartime P mint mark above the dome. The coin measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter and weighs approximately 5 grams. In uncirculated condition, the silver alloy gives it a brilliant, almost luminous appearance that collectors find visually striking, a combination of beauty and historical depth that defines the Jefferson Wartime series. Rarity plays a significant role in the enduring appeal of the 1944 P. Jefferson Nickel. While over 119 million pieces were struck that year, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is a true challenge. Many examples show heavy wear, discoloration, or environmental damage, especially those found in very dirty or corroded states, which significantly reduces their eye appeal and market value. However, well-preserved specimens with sharp details, full steps on Monticello, and minimal surface marks are scarce and highly coveted. The coin's silver composition also makes it prone to natural toning, and coins displaying attractive, rainbow-like hues often command premium prices. In today's numismatic market, the 1944 P. Jefferson Wartime Nickel holds strong value, reflecting both its historical and material worth. Typical circulated examples may trade for a few dollars based on their silver content alone, but high-grade certified coins in mint state, MS-65 to MS-67, can fetch between $1,000 and $9,000, especially those with full steps on the reverse. Auction results have shown consistent demand for superior examples, as collectors recognize the long-term investment potential of wartime coinage. The combination of silver composition, wartime significance, and first-time P mint mark placement ensures that this coin's value continues to appreciate steadily with time. For collectors interested in adding the 1944 P Jefferson nickel to their portfolio, a few careful steps can make all the difference. Focus on coins authenticated and graded by reputable services like PCGS or NGC, as these guarantee both quality and authenticity. Look for well-struck examples with clear detail in Jefferson's portrait and Monticello's steps. Avoid cleaning or polishing coins, as doing so can permanently reduce their collector value. Store your coins in acid-free holders or capsules to prevent tarnish, and keep them in a cool, dry place to preserve their natural luster. Networking with other collectors and joining online numismatic forums can also help identify genuine buying opportunities and emerging market trends. Even in very dirty or aged condition, the 1944 P wartime nickel carries a charm that few modern coins can match. Each scratch, stain, or patch of patina tells a story of circulation during one of the most important periods in world history. For some collectors, the imperfections enhance its character. A coin that survived the wartime economy and still endures as a symbol of national strength and resourcefulness. Whether held as a sentimental piece or a numismatic investment, it connects collectors directly to the events of the 1940s, when every material counted and patriotism was reflected even in pocket change. Beyond its striking appearance and historical context, the 1944 P. Jefferson wartime nickel also stands as a testament to America's ingenuity during crisis. Its production demonstrated how the U.S. Mint adapted quickly to meet wartime demands without disrupting everyday commerce. This transition from nickel to silver alloy was more than a technical change. It symbolized national cooperation and sacrifice. Collectors today appreciate the coin not only for its monetary worth, but also for what it represents. The strength of a country willing to adjust and innovate in the face of global conflict. Holding this coin feels like holding a moment in time, a direct link to the 1940s when every resource mattered. The 1944 P. Jefferson wartime nickel remains a prized treasure for serious numismatists and history enthusiasts alike. It represents the perfect blend of artistry, innovation, and patriotism, a coin born from necessity yet elevated by meaning. Its silver content, historical background, and limited production details make it an enduring favorite in the Jefferson Nickel series. For anyone seeking to own a tangible connection to America's wartime legacy, this remarkable 5-cent piece stands as a timeless collectible, a small but powerful symbol of a nation united through courage, sacrifice, and craftsmanship. And thirdly, we're deep dive into the world of ultra-rare and valuable United States coinage. Of circulation, the most expensive and rare 1941 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel, a coin that represents one of the most fascinating and sought-after conditional rarities in the entire series, a true sleeping giant in the world of numismatics. The Jefferson Nickel series was still in its infancy in 1941, having only begun in 1938, and the country itself was perched on the precipice of a global conflict. The Philadelphia Mint, the main producer of the nation's coinage, was operating at full capacity, but it was a period of transition and experimentation. This particular year saw all three mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, striking nickels, but the Philadelphia issues, as was tradition, carried no mint mark. It was business as usual, with no indication that this specific coin would become a legend, a product of a specific and fleeting moment in minting history just before the nation's focus shifted entirely to the war effort, which would soon change the very metal composition of the 5-cent piece. When we examine the design of the 1941 nickel, we see the work of Felix Schlag, who won a national competition for the honor. The obverse features a bold, left-facing portrait of President Thomas Jefferson, with the word Liberty to the right and the motto, "In God We Trust," along the left rim. The date sits squarely below the portrait. The reverse is a classic depiction of Jefferson's home, Monticello, with the name arched above and the denomination 5 cents below. The mint mark, when present, is found to the right of the building, just as the final step in the design. On our featured coin, that space is conspicuously and importantly blank, confirming its Philadelphia origin. a feature that would normally be commonplace, but in this specific condition and context becomes the defining characteristic of its immense value. Now, the true story of this coin's rarity is not in its mintage figures, as Philadelphia produced over 100 million of them, but in its survival rate in a specific state of preservation. The vast majority of these coins entered circulation and were worn down, their features softened and details lost over years of passing from hand to hand. What makes the 1941 no-mint mark nickel so exceptionally rare is finding one that was never actually circulated, one that retained its full, razor-sharp mint luster and detail, but which was then subjected to environmental damage, resulting in a very dirty, discolored, or toned surface. This combination of a coin that was technically never worn, preserving every minute detail, but visually impaired by heavy, unattractive toning or grime, creates a unique conditional rarity that is almost impossible to locate, as most coins were either kept pristine or worn smooth. The collector demand for this specific coin in this very dirty condition is immense because it represents a monumental challenge for the specialist. For a series like the Jefferson Nickel, which is often collected by date and mint mark, condition is the ultimate differentiator. While a collector can easily acquire a circulated example for a small sum, locating the coin that has the full detail of an uncirculated piece, but the problem surface is the true goal for those building top-tier sets. It stands out in the early Jefferson Nickel series not for a dramatic error or a low mintage, but for the sheer difficulty of the hunt, the pursuit of a coin that defies the normal grading standards and exists in a niche category of its own, appealing to those who seek the ultimate challenge. So, what is the market value for this numismatic paradox? A typical, well-circulated 1941 P nickel is worth perhaps $1 or $2. However, the coin we are discussing, the one in very dirty condition but with full mint luster lurking beneath, and nowhere on the high points of Jefferson's cheek or the steps of Monticello, commands a staggering premium. In today's market, a coin that would technically grade at the MS 60 to MS 63 level if it were clean, but is designated as environmental damage or questionable color, can reliably be valued in the range of $10,000 to $25,000. The price is highly dependent on the severity and nature of the damage, and whether the underlying surfaces are still fully intact, with auction records confirming that when such a coin appears, it sparks a fierce bidding war among dedicated specialists. For those of you inspired to hunt for this treasure, your strategy must be meticulous. You must focus relentlessly on the condition of the coin's surfaces, looking past the dirt and discoloration to assess the sharpness of the design details. Learn to identify the difference between wear and grime. Run a finger over the high points of the design in your mind. True wear will soften the hair detail and the lines of Monticello, while a dirty uncirculated coin will feel sharp, its details crisp beneath the surface film. Because of its value, authentication and grading by a service like PCGS or NGC is absolutely non-negotiable to confirm both its authenticity and its conditional status. You will not find this coin in a loose change jar. Your search must be directed towards old bank rolls, estate sales, or the inventories of specialized coin dealers who understand the nuances of the series. The 1941 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel, in very dirty condition, is far more than just a common coin with a problem. It is a numismatic enigma, a relic of the pre-war era that survived without wear but with a story written on its surface. Its importance lies in its extreme conditional rarity and the intense demand from collectors who seek to complete a set with the finest and most challenging examples possible. Its appeal crosses over from the new collector, who can appreciate the thrill of the hunt, to the seasoned veteran, who understands the profound difficulty of securing such a paradoxical and valuable piece of American coinage history. And speaking of history, our next exploration takes us to a coin forged in the very heart of the conflict that followed 1941, a coin with a tangible connection to the battlefield itself. In our next video, we will be examining a truly unique and historic piece, a 1943 bronze Lincoln cent that was never supposed to exist, a coin that defied the wartime mandate and now stands as a $1 million legend. You will not want to miss that story, so make sure you are subscribed and have the notification bell turned on. And fourthly, we're going to explore the 1981 Jefferson Nickel with the Philadelphia P. Mint mark may look like an ordinary 5-cent coin at first glance, especially when covered in years of dirt and wear, but behind its modest appearance lies a story that has fascinated coin collectors across America. This coin was minted during a time when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of nickels for circulation, yet a few ultra-rare examples stand apart for their minting errors, unique features, and pristine history. Some of these coins have reached staggering prices at auctions, turning average collectors into overnight millionaires. The key lies in understanding what makes these particular nickels so rare and why their value continues to rise in the collector's market. The Jefferson Nickel series, first introduced in 1938, has seen numerous varieties, but the 1981 P issue stands out for one crucial reason. It was among the last nickels before the mint made slight adjustments to the dies used in the early 1980s. This transition led to subtle but significant variations in the strike, font thickness, and rim design. A handful of 1981 nickels struck with experimental planchets, or those showing off-center errors, double dies, or incomplete strikes, are considered ultra-rare today. These anomalies, though minor to the untrained eye, can skyrocket a coin's value from just 5 cents to thousands or even millions of dollars, depending on condition, demand, and rarity. Collectors have long sought the elusive 1981 Jefferson nickel with strong die errors, full steps on Monticello, and sharp definition. A coin showing full steps, clear, uninterrupted lines at the base of Thomas Jefferson's Monticello building, can command massive premiums, especially when preserved in uncirculated or mint state condition. Even a dirty or heavily circulated example can be valuable if it displays rare minting characteristics. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated a few extraordinary specimens of this coin that have broken price records at auction, often due to their near-perfect strike and rarity in the coin market. What makes these nickels particularly fascinating is how they can easily be overlooked in everyday circulation. Many people unknowingly spend coins worth small fortunes, tossing them into cash drawers or vending machines without realizing what they hold. Some of the most valuable U.S. nickels have been discovered in old jars, inherited collections, or even as pocket change found in garages or basements. The thrill of discovering one of these hidden treasures has kept collectors searching tirelessly for decades, hoping that one small piece of metal might be the key to unimaginable wealth. The 1981 Jefferson nickel's potential value also lies in its condition and minting precision. Coins that remain uncleaned, even if dirty, often retain their original luster and details better than those that have been polished or wiped. A dirty coin may look unappealing, but to collectors, it can mean originality and authenticity, both crucial in determining true market worth. In some cases, these dirty nickels, when properly authenticated, can fetch tens of thousands of dollars simply because they are untouched and preserved in their natural state. In the world of numismatics, rarity is king, and demand drives prices through the roof. The 1981 Jefferson nickel has quietly climbed in desirability among collectors because of its transitional minting qualities and limited number of error coins. As more collectors turn their attention to modern-era coins with historical value, demand for rare nickels from the late 20th century has surged. This surge has led to bidding wars at major auctions, where passionate collectors and investors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for coins once thought to be ordinary change. Imagine finding a coin like this in your collection, a simple, dirty nickel suddenly revealed to be a rare variety worth thousands or even millions. It's happened before. Stories abound of individuals discovering rare 1981 P. Jefferson nickels in old piggy banks, coffee cans, or forgotten drawers, only to realize later they held a coin that could change their financial future overnight. These real-life stories are what keep collectors searching, reinforcing the idea that fortune could literally be sitting in your pocket. The allure of the 1981 nickel extends beyond money. It's a tangible connection to America's history, craftsmanship, and the precision of minting. Each Jefferson nickel tells a story, from the design inspired by the nation's third president to the architectural elegance of Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia. Collectors see more than a coin. They see a piece of America's past, molded in metal, carrying decades of circulation and history in its surface marks and patina. This emotional and historical connection amplifies its appeal and value. For anyone holding on to old U.S. coins, now is the perfect time to take a closer look. The coin market is stronger than ever, and prices for rare nickels, dimes, and quarters have soared in recent years. Coins like the 1981 Jefferson Nickel P are living proof that even modern-era pieces can hold extraordinary value when they exhibit the right characteristics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about old change, Every coin deserves a second look, because one discovery could transform your life. Many collectors and treasure hunters are now revisiting their old collections in coin jars, realizing that these seemingly common nickels from 1981 could be the hidden gems they've been overlooking for years. The beauty of the Jefferson Nickel series is that it remains accessible to everyone. These coins are still circulating, tucked away in drawers, or passed down through families. What most people don't realize is that certain variations of this 1981 P nickel, such as those with doubled die obverse, misaligned strikes, or unusual die cracks, can fetch eye-popping prices. Even a slightly off-center minting or an odd coloration caused by metal impurities can dramatically increase its worth. The rarity lies not just in perfection, but often in imperfection, flaws that tell a story and make each coin truly one of a kind. The growing interest in coins like the 1981 Jefferson Nickel also reflects a broader trend in the numismatic world: the shift toward appreciating modern coins with unique traits. Collectors are now more informed, more connected, and far more willing to invest in coins from recent decades that once went unnoticed. This new wave of demand has caused the market value for certain coins to surge almost overnight, with some selling for tens of thousands of dollars on platforms like eBay and at major coin auctions. Professional coin graders continue to authenticate and document new varieties of this coin, keeping excitement high and values steadily climbing. For those who take the time to learn the small details, the full steps, mint marks, die breaks, and planchet varieties, the payoff can be nothing short of life-changing. In the end, the 1981 Jefferson Nickel with the P mint mark stands as a reminder that history and fortune often come in unexpected forms. So before you spend that old nickel or overlook that pile of coins sitting in a jar, remember, not all change is ordinary. Some coins carry stories of wealth, history, and luck that defy their face value. The 1981 Jefferson Nickel is a shining example of how something small and seemingly insignificant can hold the power to change your fortune overnight. It's more than metal, it's a potential masterpiece of value waiting to be found. And at the end, we're exploring the 1964 Jefferson Nickel without a mint mark stands as one of the most captivating and paradoxical treasures in all of American numismatics, a coin that embodies the end of an era and holds a unique, almost legendary status among advanced collectors. While millions of 1964 nickels were produced, the specific branch mint specimen from Philadelphia, curiously lacking its P mint mark, represents an extraordinary prize. Its appeal lies not in widespread recognition, but in a profound historical anomaly and its extreme scarcity, making it a centerpiece for any serious collection of modern American coinage and a subject of intense discussion and desire within the collecting community. This particular coin, especially in a very dirty and heavily circulated state, tells a complex story that fuels its demand and transforms it from mere pocket change into a prized treasure of immense historical and numismatic significance. The historical context of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel is deeply intertwined with a national coin shortage and a pivotal moment in U.S. minting history. Following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963, the nation was gripped by a hoarding mentality, particularly with silver coins, which led to a critical lack of circulating currency. In response, the U.S. Mint embarked on a massive coin production campaign in 1964, continuing to strike 1964-dated coins well into 1965. This was the final year for the 90% silver dime and quarter, and the mint was operating at full capacity. The Philadelphia Mint, traditionally the main producer, struck an enormous number of nickels, but in a break from the brief precedent set from 1942 to 1945, it did not place a P mint mark on its coins. The year 1964 was the last for this particular design by Felix Schlag before a minor modification in 1966, positioning this coin as the final issue of the classic, original Jefferson series, minted during a period of national transition and economic anxiety. The unique features of the Jefferson Nickel are iconic, centered around the dignified portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, based on the marble bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon. The reverse features a meticulous rendering of Jefferson's beloved home, Monticello, a design celebrated for its architectural detail and symbolic representation of American ideals. Struck in a copper-nickel alloy, the coin has a standard weight of 5 grams and a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. For the 1964 Philadelphia issue, The most critical unique feature is the deliberate absence of a mint mark, a standard practice for the Philadelphia Mint at the time for this denomination. While the design itself is celebrated, the visual appeal for this specific coin in a very dirty condition is not one of luster and sharp strikes, but rather of a well-worn artifact, where the grime and surface marks attest to its long journey through commerce, making any remaining detail on the high points of Jefferson's cheek and the steps of Monticello all the more remarkable. The rarity of the 1964 Philadelphia nickel in any condition is not rooted in a low mintage figure, as over 1 billion were produced, but in the existence of a specific and highly controversial variety. The 1964 Jefferson nickel with a special mint set, SMS finish. These SMS coins were struck with highly polished dies on polished planchets, resulting in a stunning, satiny surface with sharp, mirror-like fields. It is these SMS examples that are considered ultra-rare and valuable. A very dirty, circulation strike 1964 nickel from Philadelphia is common, but a coin with the characteristics of an SMS, even if heavily impaired and dirty, is an entirely different entity. The scarcity of these special strikes is immense, with only a handful of confirmed specimens known to exist. Finding any example of the 1964 SMS nickel, regardless of its surface condition, represents a monumental numismatic discovery, as the overwhelming majority of 1964 nickels are the standard circulation strikes. The market value for a standard, very dirty 1964 Philadelphia Jefferson nickel is minimal, typically worth only its face value to a few cents as a curiosity. However, if the coin in question is confirmed by a major grading service like PCGS or NGC to be a genuine 1964 SMS specimen, its value becomes substantial, even in a low grade with heavy dirt and impairment. While a pristine, gem-grade 1964 SMS nickel can command prices well into 5 figures, a heavily circulated and dirty example would still be valued in a range from approximately $1,000 to $8,000 or more, entirely dependent on its authentication and the residual evidence of its special strike origin. This immense value for a coin in such poor overall condition is driven purely by its monumental rarity and historical importance as a first-year SMS issue, with its price reflecting the intense competition among top-tier collectors to own one of the few known examples. For collectors pursuing this numismatic legend, the most critical advice is to prioritize authentication and certification above all else. Due to the existence of altered and fabricated coins, no potential 1964 SMS nickel should be purchased raw or uncertified. One must only acquire examples that have been encapsulated and authenticated by PCGS or NGC, as their verification is the bedrock of the coin's market value. It is essential to study the distinguishing features of the SMS strikes, such as their unique satin finish and exceptionally sharp detail, even if obscured by grime. Purchases should be made through reputable major auction houses or established dealers specializing in rare modern coins. Engaging with the collector community through clubs and online forums can provide invaluable insights and potential leads, as the appearance of one of these coins is a significant event in the numismatic world. The allure of this specific coin is profoundly magnified by its condition. A very dirty 1964 SMS nickel presents a unique and compelling narrative that resonates deeply with connoisseurs of numismatic history. While a pristine gem-quality specimen showcases the mint's intended artistry, a heavily soiled and impaired example tells a vivid story of its time, a tangible relic that has witnessed decades of history, even if its journey remains partially shrouded in mystery. The dirt and surface accumulations do not diminish its core value, but instead add a layer of character and intrigue, challenging the collector to see beyond the grime to the incredible rarity that lies beneath. This very impairment can make the discovery of such a coin all the more dramatic, as it underscores the reality that these numismatic giants can still be found in the most unexpected of places, waiting for a knowledgeable eye to recognize their true worth and significance. Ultimately, securing such a piece is considered a crowning achievement for a specialized collection, representing a pinnacle in the field of Jefferson nickel numismatics. The ownership of a 1964 SMS nickel, regardless of its surface state, places a collector in an exclusive fraternity, one that appreciates the nuanced history of the mid-20th century U.S. Mint and the extraordinary circumstances that created such a rare variant. Its steady appreciation in value at auction demonstrates its robust and enduring demand, solidifying its role not merely as a collectible, but as a solid numismatic asset. The 1964 Jefferson nickel from Philadelphia, specifically the ultra-rare SMS variety, represents a thrilling convergence of history, artistry, and extreme scarcity. Even in a very dirty and heavily worn state, its status as a pivotal and rare issue from a tumultuous year in American history secures its place as a legendary prize. It is far more than a 5-cent piece. It is a tangible artifact from the final chapter of classic U.S. coinage, a symbol of a mint striving to meet public demand with a special product that would become a collector's dream. For the dedicated numismatist, the pursuit of this coin in any condition is a rewarding endeavor, offering the chance to possess a piece of history that continues to captivate enthusiasts worldwide with its unique story and enduring, profound value.